his good technique, he will be elite. If his technique becomes great, not just good, then he's a Hall of Famer.
Going down again. It's Q. Leonard Williams.
Fighting through contact, fighting through the offensive line, being double team, multiple moves stacked into one, just a play of pure domination. This is actual film. This is actual football talk. It's a football show. We're supposed to talk football, not storylines.
And you are listening, or most likely watching, another edition of Blewett's Blitz. Today we have Zach Wilson. The first part of Zach Wilson I think I've done since he's actually been drafted by the Jets. The first part I did, I had a pretty good idea. Second part I did was right before he was drafted. That got released, I think, the day after he was drafted. But today is the first actual time I'm doing it, knowing that he is drafted by the Jets. 34 plays, I believe, of him today. And then the next show we're going to have is like 25 plays. So 2 more parts of Zach Wilson. As you can see, I dug it out of the out of my drawer. It's a little bit wrinkly, but I had to break out the Zach Wilson t-shirt for the Zach Wilson show. But we have Wilson today, or when you're listening to it. Then we have Isaiah Dunn. Then most likely Hamaclair, Rasheed Jr., and then after that, we have Eccles, Marshall, and Wilson again. And then that's it for the draft class. We did the entire draft class, which is 10 picks and the 3 UDFAs. That's 13 reviews we put out, plus the Zach Wilson 4 parts. So it's really 16 reviews on the rookie class. And then we already did Jared Davis, Corey Davis, and Carl Lawson. And then we still have the rest of the free agents, which I should get to. The only way I don't get to them is if they sign a bigger free agent like Morgan Moses or a Sherman, 1 or 2 of those guys. And maybe I won't get to the guys on the bottom, but still plan on having Sheldon Rankins, Cole Joyner, Vinny Curry, Tevin Coleman, Dan Feeney-Croft, Ronald Blair, and Sherrod Niesman coming out. All of those will be relative or anywhere past probably about Curry. So Coleman, Feeney, Croft, Blair, Niesman will all be under 30 plays, most likely. An hour and a half max, because I know people don't want to do a ton on them, but going to do those reviews because you're here for the film, and that's what we're going to do. So that and some occasional live streams. But let's get right into the Zach Wilson stuff. And then I think next week, I didn't give out like my full list of like strengths and weaknesses for him. I have the list. I didn't write an article on him, so it's not necessarily the cleanest in terms of listed. But maybe before I do the next show, I'll make sure to list it cleanly. Regardless, next show at the end, I'll give you the full list to give you some incentive to come back again. But it's been quite a while. And I said on my Yaboa show that some of these plays were recorded on December 30th or even before December. So some of them are going to, I'm going to have to go back and really watch like with you guys because it's been about 6 months since I watched some of these plays. But regardless, that's what you need to do. You need to do some prep work. So we went through plays 1 through 68 in the first 2 reviews. We're going to go through plays 69 through 104, I think it is today. Whatever that last game is. I think it's 104. So about 35 plays today. I'm going to play them first. After we play them, we'll talk about them. So, and today is the first day, by the way. I don't know what day this is going to be released on. Thursday, Friday, whatever the hell day it is. You guys are listening to this. Maybe even sooner. But today is the first day of minicamp. The Jets cut their minicamp apparently from 3 days to 2 days. Crowder got his contract cut, which is seemingly like it's at least like $3, $4, $5 million, which is pretty good because that brings the Jets up to like 32 million ish. And then they need another couple million to sign their class. So like they have a decent amount of room, and maybe they test out the corners the next 2 days and see if they want to sign a Steven Nelson, or maybe they try to bring in a Morgan Moses now, but I think they're going to make another move. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's going to be more Moses or one of these corners out there, even if it's not a bigger guy. Like, and I don't mind saying that, necessarily that Steven Nelson's a bigger corner, because really he's not. But maybe he is. I got to watch the film on him. But maybe it's a Brashad Breeland, like, somebody there, because they're just too inexperienced, but we all know that. So let's watch the play first. Placement, security, throw. I think it says. I can't see the top of my screen. Movement. Okay, security, throw. So obviously we know who we're watching. We don't really have to. What is it called? I don't have to point him out before the play because it's Zach Wilson. So we'll watch this angle first. I'm not going to go through the whole thing and let all 23 to 30 seconds run of each play before I talk about it. But play action again. A lot of BYU had it was play action. It was a lot of jet motions, orbit motions, etc. Where they have this sail type concept, the sail variation. Some people vary sail where and sail versus flood. They're a little bit different. Flood for me is with the outside guy running a curl, and either the 1 or the 3 running a deep over or a 7 route over top of it, and then a flat route. So that's the difference between flood and sail for me. It's a little bit different. Sail for me can have that intermediate read, or even the flat, come from the opposite side of the field as long as it gets there to be the intermediate read. But you need to get there pretty much now. So we can call it a sail. With the call it a hawk. You can call it a lot of different things. But it seems like Wilson reads deep to intermediate, doesn't like any of his options, pulls the ball down, and then looks to his field side. Obviously, has to move in the pocket as there's some clutter there. He doesn't want to get sacked. He doesn't want to bring the ball up to throw it, and obviously have the ball be fumbled because he gets swatted out of there. So finds his receiver, hits him, and it's pretty quick too. That he does this. Now it seems like from this angle, he jumps through his reads a little bit. Play action, reads the middle of the field. Looks like he's going deep right there. Intermediate, back deep, intermediate again. It looks like he jumps between his reads a little bit, where he's checking a lot. Now he's feeling the pressure. Pulls the ball up, or at least in front of him, away from pressure. He feels this pressure. He doesn't want to leave the ball where it is. So he pulls it to about his belly button and kind of squares up, runs through the hole with 2 hands on the ball, sees his receiver open deep, get that 1 step vertical off right here, because that's where you want to, you don't want to drift off to your side while trying to throw straight. If you can get, obviously not in every situation, you're going to be able to get vertical with 1 or 2 steps, but you really want to try to get vertical because you want to drive towards your target. You want to be floating away from your target and try to throw it. You're not going to have as much power and accuracy on it. So he moves out to his side, but gets a 1 step vertical. Disassociation from the hips and the foot right there. You can see as the hips are square, he's creating that torque through cranking his back shoulder back like that. Tight front arm, which helps his rotation from his upper body to his hips, and square to the target, throw, and money throw. It doesn't really get better than that in terms of like leading your guy, putting it pretty much on his face, and then it allows him to just pull the ball down and go for some yaks. So good first play of the review. Let's watch the next one. There's me a decent amount of good. This play though is not, at least as I labeled it. Let's see. Let me watch that again. So obviously you have the naked, where again there's a difference between play action, bootlegs, and then nakeds for me. Nakeds, he has no protection, which he does not. So this is a naked, and obviously reading the flat, he sees this defender closing ground at obviously the angle he is, so he knows he can undercut him, especially with a pump fake. So pump fake, undercut him. Protects the ball, 2 hands, good job, pull it away. Now he sees this receiver. I want to see him hit him now, and just get rid of the ball. And it looks like he tries to do like a little like sidearm, like a little flip pass. And to me, it looks like he just loses control of the ball right here. Like you can see he kind of goes to push it. So he loses control of the ball right there. That's at least what I'm seeing. A little bit too fancy. Just juke this guy, throw the ball. Throw it. He waits a little bit too long and then loses control. I remember watching it a couple times where the ball right there looks like the nose is down. See what I'm saying? So he's obviously not trying to throw the ball with the nose down like that. So it looks like he just loses his grip. There are some moments of him trying to be too fancy, flip his hips, do a little bit too much. But again, I rather have a guy at the NFL level who is being a little bit too risky, a little bit too fancy than a guy who's too conservative, because the NFL just gets harder and faster. And if you're already too conservative, seeing some of the defenses you're going to see at the NFL level is going to make you even more conservative. It's going to really make you hard to come out of that shell, where guys who are a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too fancy, you could teach them to hone in a little bit, at least from what I've seen, guys transitioning to the NFL. 4th and 6 playmaker. The only thing about this is, and I remember, yeah, the entire time he's just looking to his one on this side of the field, which is just isolated 3-by-1 set. So I'm not sure why he doesn't go through more reads than just the one, but they all just run sticks. It's just a stick concept for all of them. Just pretty much just get it beyond the first down marker and just turn around. It's really not very complicated. I'm not sure why Wilson just completely isolates that one receiver. If he's trusting him to make the play or not, or why he doesn't go through the other reads, but he stares at that receiver the entire time. So you want to see that change a little bit. Again, and I'm not sure if it's the offense and they just told them, okay, we're targeting this guy in this play, and just find a way to get the ball to him, or if it was Wilson just staring down his guy. So could be one of two things right there. Obviously, he feels pressure from the interior of the offensive line, rolls out to his left. Scramble drill ensues, where basically for the receiver just means find freaking grass. And receiver finds grass. And Wilson, again, this is why I said playmaker. The play is actually not made here. But obviously sees this guy is covered if you're watching the one on the first angle. You see some of the speed to get to the outside. Again. Gets one step vertical. Disassociation from the hips again. Talking about creating that torque on the ball. And he throws the ball, like great spiral, great location. Now the play is not made on the ball, or the play is made on the ball by the corner, but it seems like he gets his hand in there, getting a little bit grainy. This is not because of slow connection or anything like that. It's just how it's played, or how the film was. So the corner is able to get his hand in there. But in terms of and this is why we talk about Wilson, and I specifically talked about him having guys like Davis and Mims, on these type of plays. Like, these are the receivers you want for these type of plays, like these jump ball guys, specifically Mims. Like, that's what he's really, really good at. Davis is good at jump balls too. Again, from what I saw from Davis, at least in his 2020 film, it was more of him over the middle contested balls versus vertical contested balls. Are a little bit different. Mims can do all of the above. That's probably his best trait as of right now. So still, with this location, you really can't get better. Now we have some questions about why he only read this one side of the field, etc. But still, I'm putting it down as a good play because of where the ball ended up, and on the better receiver could make a play on the ball if he attacks it bigger, etc. Wilson poise, comfort, push pass. BYU ran so many of these mesh wheel sits where you have wheel, mesh, sit in between. It's a zone beater, it's a man beater. It's a really good play. Mesh in general is a really good play. And it seems like, at least on this play, he's reading the wheel first. Typically it's like wheel, second read, third read, fourth read, or third read, fourth read. But looks to his left, seemingly reading the wheel, bailing. There's really not a lot of room for the wheel right here. Goes to the middle of the field. Doesn't see anything he necessarily loves right away as he goes, and he starts to feel some pressure. Realizes he has room as he steps up. sees the sit route sitting in between these two defenders because these two drags, short unders, separated him, and he's going to hit that window. Oh, sorry, I didn't play it before. I gotta make sure I play it before we talk about it. But finds him, push pass. So we'll see from the other angle. But drop back, read left, not seeing anything he likes, feel some pressure from the middle. Again, the poise right here to step up from this pressure. Again, he was and I get he was never pressured, or the whole he was never pressured thing. But obviously that's unrealistic. Like, he's going to be pressured. So you really want to watch what he does when he's pressured. This is one of those plays. Nothing was necessarily open immediately. Didn't like anything. Feeling pressure. Ball security. Put the ball in two hands as he feels that pressure. Breaks the tackle. Checks this one, which a lot of these like mesh concepts, they could sit it down if the drag is going to take them into unwanted territory where they're running towards another defender. Checks that real quick, whether that be to look off this defender or not. Regardless, I would say based on Zach Wilson's play, it's probably to look off that defender. Like, he sees this guy, wants to hit him, and he also sees a flash of orange right here, orange and white. So he actually looks him off. That's what I would guess. Again, you can't tell 100%, but looks him off, push pass. And he leads him to where he could run. That defender to Wilson's right, to the left of the screen, was not close. Did not even give me that crap. Great play. We'll watch it again from this view because it's a pretty play. Looked pretty good under pressure there. Just saying. Wilson sees underneath, almost absurd play. Yeah, this is a little bit of the gunslinger stuff that we have with this I-form tight end wing right. Just some 22 personnel, which the Jets might be running a little bit this year. I'm not sure. I think they'll be a little bit more heavy, 11 heavy, versus at least what the 49ers were, because of just based on the personnel. So this is almost ridiculous. It's it's pretty risky, to be honest, but you're going to see some great plays because of Wilson, because of this, and you might see an interception or two because of this as well. So based on how he played at BYU, I don't see him being a guy who is, under 8-9 picks a year, but he's going to make some absurd plays. Maybe he hones it in, maybe he doesn't, but play action, they just run this Yankee concept where you have the deep over and the post. So Yankee concept, based on pre-snap, whatever. I'm not sure they can change it, but it's like the 1 to 2. Typically, it's the post to the over. So he rolls out to the right because he feels some pressure. Obviously, he doesn't want to roll it to the right with the over being to his left, but he feels some pressure, rolls out to the right, and now what he sees is, okay, my over is working over top of this guy who's taking like his exit angle, is getting depth in his drop. But I'm going to trust my guy to the wind to the sideline. So he's not throwing it to the hash and short where this guy can pick it. He is risking where he's going to throw it to the sideline because of how he's reading this. And again, he's dropping, hips are open to the inside, hips are outside. So if you can throw it and lead him outside, he's taking that risk here. Risky? Hell yeah. For sure it is. But let's not act like if that receiver didn't keep running to the sideline, because this receiver in his mind is no freaking way Wilson can make this throw. It's going to be a jump ball, so I'm going to stop. But if he actually kept running, it probably would have been a completion. So if he didn't stop right there to square up that defender to make a play on the ball potentially, if it was a floater, but almost a ridiculous play if that receiver kept running. So risky, definitely. Would have been absolutely beautiful if that receiver kept running though. So that's some of the stuff you get with Wilson. Good and bad. Window early, but absurd TD. Okay. So they're in 10, but he motions out to almost a receiver right here. But this is like a gun bunch open. This is what I call it. Open is because of the backside tight end. You can call it 3x1. If it's closed, it's closed. If he's on the line of scrimmage. If the Y is split out, you can call it like Y ISO gun bunch. You can call it Y open, whatever. It doesn't, again, there's a bunch of different terminology, but they have a bunch to the top. Wilson doesn't like anything he sees immediately, which it's another triangle where it could be 1, 2, 3. Doesn't see anything he likes immediately. Feels a little bit of pressure from inside. He could step up into the pocket right here, and he could scramble. And base that, it's, again, I don't know why I didn't put the downs in here, to be completely honest. That's my fault. But rolls out to his right. The only thing, and it depends on where his eyes are. If he saw this, I want to see him throw this immediately. This is a big enough window to hit this guy, obviously, at the NFL level, even at college level. So I'm not sure why he doesn't throw this. We didn't see it. We're going to see it from another angle where his eyes were. And if we can guesstimate if he saw this, if he does, he needs to throw this. And it was open for a couple seconds right here that I noticed. 1, 2, 3. Now you probably don't want to throw it, but like he was pretty open. So I'm not sure why I didn't throw that. But now he sees eyes from this offensive player. He sees the back of this defender. So he's just going to float it up and give his receiver, tight end, or receiver a chance to make a play on the ball. So he's going to float it to the back end zone line and just give him that chance. And obviously he does, and makes an absurd catch and an absurd play by Wilson, but quick to read left, doesn't see what he likes. Now all of his concepts are right. So that's why again, and when it's a 3-by-1 and there's not a lot to the left, you have a little bit more flexibility to roll to the right, because that's where all of your routes are pretty much going to be. Especially, I know that this receiver breaks inside right here, so he's working toward that side anyway. So you can give him that flexibility. Rolls out to the right. Looks like his eyes are on this sit, snag, whatever it was. So I'm not sure why he doesn't throw it to Dax Maline right away. But you see some of the speed. Sees Maline call for it right there. Oh, geez, so that defender's eyes are actually back on him when he goes to throw this, and he turns. So he's just trusting that either Dax can catch it or nobody's going to catch it. But in terms of the location of the ball, high and as far back as it could possibly be. So it'd be really hard for this defender to make a play. Again, maybe Dax isn't able to get his toes in or get his toe in because it's college. Definitely, again, another risky type play, but absurd at the same time. Like this isn't a play you make at the NFL level if you're not willing to take some risk. And especially, again, with guys like Corey Davis, with guys like Denzel Mims, these are plays you can make in the red zone with them. Again, with him rolling out and looking towards the flat and the snag, these guys are away. His eyes are over here. Whether it be literally throw this guy or this guy, I want to see him get rid of the ball at this moment. So don't love him holding on to it, to be completely honest. But still, that jump pass is pretty ridiculous. He was able to slightly get vertical with that one step. That's just a playmaker. That's that mechanics is not easy to throw that ball like that. Wilson, great deep ball. Okay. Another 3-by-1. Y trips. Yeah, a lot of gun, a lot of 11 personnel type looks for BYU. Obviously an absurd deep ball, and people are like, "Oh, everything was wide open," which again, to me, Fields had more open throws than Wilson did. But I guess because he has open throws versus bigger competition, it makes it better than Wilson's tight throws against, Syracuse or whoever he's playing, which doesn't make much sense to me. But they run a 9 seam, which is just a vertical stretch. And he reads outside to in. He likes his matchup outside. Again, he sees that at this point when he goes to throw the ball, that his receiver's even. So he's going to trust that he's leaving, and not to be, stupid with words and stuff, but that's what everybody calls it, even. He's leaving. And if you trust your receivers and you know your receivers, you have to know your guys if they're going to be able to get past their guy that they're playing or a match up against. And he trusts his receiver here to get vertical of this corner, because he's a little bit of room to the sideline. And again, he's even with them in terms of his horizontal plane to him. So he's going to lead him. Leads him. Receiver works the ball. Absurd throw. Like, this is absurd. Again, could not be in a better location. In terms of, you cannot walk that ball into a better spot. Receiver doesn't make the play. He drops it. Not Wilson's fault at all. Again, all his receivers made all these plays from him, all the stuff, etc. Wide open throws. Good pocket for sure. He also gets rid of the ball in, 1, 2, like a 3-step drop. Like an extra step there. But mechanics, you can see that he raises his shoulders again, which really activates your core. And when you activate your core and you're raising your shoulders, you're raising your release point. If your shoulders are going to stay down, you try to throw it, it's going to have to be a dart, and it's not going to have as much arc on it. So when you're throwing deep balls, you see a lot of guys raise their shoulders and slant them up, because then your arm has to work over kind of your core. And again, it leads to a release point that's higher than lower, which obviously leads to the ball having more arc on it for deep balls. So you like that. Foot is a little bit, his lead foot's never terrible, but it's never great. It's a little bit closed off, where he's not allowing his hips to fully rotate through. And then again, sometimes with his, he gets good extension out of his back leg right here. But the thing that he does is he doesn't necessarily always step through his throws. He rotates in, so he's not activating. He actually could throw balls with more power at the NFL level if he fixes his mechanics, because he doesn't activate his base fully. So a lot of the throws you see is a lot of upper body, or more upper body than necessarily should be, where again, you want to see guys step through it, where he tends to rotate his back foot inwards. Good haul.